Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about how to avoid wasting your precious money on powerlifting coaching. If you already have a coach and you want to make sure that you are not wasting your money, every cent of your money is being well spent, or if you have been powerlifting for a while and now you are considering to hire a coach, we're going to talk about how to maximize the most benefit from your powerlifting coach and get the results and progress you deserve. In the end of this video, I'm going to also talk about for who powerlifting coaching is best suited for. Not everybody has to pay for coaching, but in the end, I'm going to give you some classic examples of cases that powerlifting coaching will be greatly beneficial and even much better than powerlifting programs. Powerlifting is a great sport and it's fun. You're lifting heavy weights, you're having fun, you're getting stronger, but sometimes it can be a little bit confusing if you're at a point where you are not seeing progress, or if you don't know how to do this yourself and you're looking for a coach. That coach has to fill some criteria that will increase the chances of you getting the results you are looking for. Some criteria can be: one, that they coach high-level athletes; two, that most of their athletes are doing progress from where they started to where they are now; and three, the coach has experience in the sport. They don't have to necessarily be an athlete, but it's a great bonus if they are. They have the experience, they did their time in the trenches. They did their time in the trenches and they know their way around powerlifting and powerlifting competitions and all that it's about. So it's a great bonus, not a must. I've seen great powerlifting coaches who are not involved as athletes in powerlifting. These are some criteria that if the coach fulfills, that means that the chances of you getting the results you want are higher. When you decide for a coach, this also implies that you are also paying for their results they produce, their plans, their programs, and their methods. To avoid wasting money on powerlifting coaching, here's what you have to do. When you hire a coach, you have to follow their program to the T, trust the process, and the results will come. And if you are a bit skeptical about the methods of the coach, or if you are not sure why the things are the way they are, your coach should be able to describe to you in detail why they do what they do. If they don't know, it's a red flag about your coach. Everything has to be justified in the plan and no random stuff have to be written in the plan. So a good coach will be able to address any of your concerns or address your questions on the way things are, and they have to be able to explain to you in detail why things are the way they are. And here is how to lose your money. If you do whatever you feel like, and if you make changes to your plan yourself, it's a surefire way to waste your money and not get the results your coach is producing, because you can't have their results and do it your way. If you want to make any changes to your plan or give your opinion about stuff, maybe discuss changes with your coach, and then if your coach accepts that and allows it and they make the change themselves, this will be the only exception to make changes to the plan of your coach. This also means that you will do the plan exactly as it is, no adding weight, no adding sets, no doing out of program singles because you felt good in the warm-up. Everything has a plan, everything at least should have a plan, and everything will come when it's time. Trust the process, do the program, and don't do changes yourself. Powerlifting is a two-sided equation. There is the coach and there is yourself, and you basically get out of coaching what you give into coaching. And so that means your feedback is really important for the coach. If you give great input, you will ensure greater output. Your coach will only be able to work with what you give him, and he's not there to big brother your every move and be the police and like check on you every second of what you do. To be able that you are getting your money's worth and you are not wasting your money, enter realistic RPEs and do it during the session for all sets so that you don't forget what the RPE the set was exactly, and do not wait for you to go home to enter the RPEs or at the end of the week. It won't be as precise as it has to be, and you are losing some accuracy from the time you finish your training to the time you enter your RPEs. Enter your RPEs correctly, or if you are working with a coach that has an RPE based programming, make sure you pick realistic weights that you think that will hit the RPE that the coach prescribed, and not pick the weights that you wish to lift. If you're unsure about the precision of your RPE, communicate it with your coach. For example, we have an RPE guide for our athletes to check, and the coach will be able to guide you. With time, with more practice, you'll be able to be more precise with your RPE. And also, if you have video uploads, this is a great way for your coach to check if your RPs are true and if your RPs are correct. So upload your videos. It's a great way for your coach to check your RPs and check that everything is correct and what you write is correct. But videos are also great for your coach to pinpoint weak points and technique flaws that may need addressing. And a great way to ensure that you are wasting your money on coaching is to never enter your RPs on the right time and enter RPs that you wish you have lifted and not the realistic RPs you did in training. And also another great way to lose your money is to become a ghost, never upload videos, upload your RPs whenever you feel like and not on time, upload random numbers so that you just write something there at the RP. And those are two great ways to bring down the level of the coaching. The next point is really important. We believe that communication is the foundation of coaching and it's one of the most important aspects of successful powerlifting coaching. For coaching to work, you need high levels of communication. Your coach is not a mind reader, and high levels of communication are needed so that your coach will be able to help you as much as they can and as precisely as possible. If you have a hard week at work, communicate with your coach. If you are struggling with something, tell your coach. If something hurts during training, if you feel extremely fatigued, if you got sick and you lost sessions, if you're not able to complete all training sessions for the week, tell your coach. These are only some examples to give you some idea to make sure you are getting your money's worth and that you are getting the most out of your coaching. Communicate with your coach about important details and don't hide details for any reasons. Maybe you think that you'll have to train lighter if you tell your coach about an injury, or we're not saying that you have to call your coach for every little thing, but in order for your coach to be able to work with you better, you'll have to give valuable input. And if you think that if you hide details, it will be a good idea so that you keep training normally, so that you don't cut back on training, you are possibly setting yourself up for a great setback or even worse, an injury. So depending on the level of your coaching, you should be able to communicate things with your coach without fear. We value communication very much in our coaching. We have created a safe environment for our athletes to talk with us about anything they need to. And your coach should be able to provide you this safety to communicate things and the support that you need so that you can get the most out of your coaching. And at the end of the day, coaching is not magic. Coaches are not magicians and they cannot put the work in for you. You are the one that will be doing the heavy lifting. And your coach is there to support you in your corner whenever you need something. They're going to update your training, but they're not going to put the work in for you. So to avoid wasting your money on powerlifting coaching, if you hire a coach, make sure you pay attention to your recovery and downtime. Make sure you have a steady sleep schedule and you sleep around 7 to 9 hours a night. Pay attention to your nutrition and eat enough protein so that you can recover better. Show up, put in the work on your technique, work on the things your coach tells you. Do your mobility work, do your stretching. The worst thing you can do when you hire a coach is to avoid the work and expect the results. No one can put the results in for you. You have to work the work. The coach is there to help you. If you have questions about your training, if you have questions about your technique, if you have questions about powerlifting in general, or if you want to talk about something, your coach should be there for you and should be able to address as many questions as they can. Then remember that you get out of coaching as much as you put in. If you provide enough detail, you will get bigger precision with the outcome. When you hire a coach, have faith in them, follow their programs, and most importantly, you should not be afraid to communicate things with your coach. There are some specific cases of people that coaching can be great for. Coaching can be great for most people, but there are some specific cases that coaching makes a lot of sense and it's the best option for these people. If you have been training for some time with free programs or random programs you buy off the internet and they don't work as much as they used to, probably time to get into coaching. These programs are not made for you specifically, and the more progress you made and the further you come along, the more details have to be addressed, and that can all happen with powerlifting coaching and not programs. Or if you find yourself asking if the program will work for you, if it's the right one for you, if you're stressing about it, and you don't know exactly how much weight you have to lift, or how many sets you have to do, or how many reps, then powerlifting coaching will eliminate all this guesswork for you, and you can just get to work, focus on the lifting and not the program. Also, if you want to become a very high-level powerlifter or an elite powerlifter with world-class lifts, you will need to get a coach. No high-level athlete in the world is training off random programs, and that is for a good reason. The longer you train, the more details has to be addressed, the more complicated training has to become in order for you to squeeze out more kilos out of your progress. A lot of long-term planning and strategy has to happen for you to reach your full potential so that you'll be able to maximize everything you can to get the biggest results possible. And the way to do that is to get an experienced coach who has experience with high-level athletes. Also, if you have a lot of responsibilities like school, university, studies, work, maybe even kids, a family, and you often find that your schedule is not very stable, or you have a lot of unexpected things come up and they throw you off your schedule, we highly recommend coaching because it can address those fluctuations and make sure you are getting the most out of your training, you're adapting to your situation, and you're doing as much progress as you can. And with coaching, you make sure that you run on schedule, you can do more progress even with an unstable schedule. And finally, if you're tired of researching the internet and you find it very hard to write a plan for yourself, if you're not sure if the plans you write will work, or if you don't know what you do most of the time, or if you don't know, if we highly suggest that you look into coaching, everything will be done for you. You don't have to think about anything, you just have to focus on the lifting and just follow the instructions your coach gives you. And you can finally have fun in training without feeling stressed if everything will work out. That's it for today's video. If you are interested, we are working with athletes of all levels. We are working with high-level athletes on the international level. We are working with smaller athletes that just want to have fun in the gym and make their PRs. If you are interested, make sure you check the links in the description or head to strengthblocks.com to find out more about our coaching.